Question. Have you ever done something so stupid that you can't help but just look back and think, what exactly was I thinking? What's up guys, Brady here, and today I'm going to tell you the story of how I broke my hand on the first day of college. Not gonna lie, not one of my best moments. But before we get into that, I just wanted to take a moment to thank each and every one of you who are liking my videos and are subscribed down below. College has just been really busy, but despite that, and well, this channel managed to reach 1.4K subscribers about a month ago, and the overall viewership has actually increased while I've been gone. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for your tremendous support. But with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get into the story of how I broke my hand the day after I moved into college. Yeah, that's never gonna sound better. So I moved into my dorm on Saturday, August 18th, and for the most part, everything was actually going pretty good at the time. I already knew a few people from Huntsville here, of course, and I also had a really good friend of mine from Birmingham who was actually my roommate at the orientation in the summer. So right off the bat, I knew a few good people here, and I had some pretty good friends. And we all had a good bit of free time in the days before classes started, so we had kind of just been hanging around a little bit and really just getting to know all the people around campus. But my friends Joe and Clay, he's the one from Birmingham by the way, and I were all skating around the next day on Sunday night, so it was pretty much just a normal night. Now, let me be absolutely clear about this next part. What happened next was completely and entirely my fault. In every way, shape, and form. The whole thing was actually quite stupid because it was entirely avoidable on my part. With that being prefaced, we were skating around this certain area, and I, being the adventurous individual that I am, was skating in a completely new area and on a board that I really wasn't quite used to yet. It was actually a mid-sized penny nickel board, which I had bought off an old friend of mine for 40 bucks and thrown a new set of bearings on, so it was pretty much as good as new. And what happened next was actually quite crazy, and it happened really fast, so I don't quite remember all of the details of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and let Clay explain it, because he was there and boy did he witness it. Alright, so we got Clay on FaceTime here, so what exactly happened with that mess?
Alright, so basically, just a casual night of skateboarding, Might have been our second night after moving. We were at UNA for only like 2 or 3 days, and, we had skateboarded the night before with, it was me and Brady and Joe. We were just skating along, and then Brady was in front of me, and Joe was off to the side. All of a sudden, he just, just kind of turned around, did a full 180, and landed on his back and kind of on his hands, and caught himself. And then his board just kind of flew off to the side, and I was like, oh my gosh, he must have hit an ajar brick or a rock or something like that. And so Brady gets up, and I'm like, oh man, are you all right? He said, yeah, I'm fine. But I think my hands, they feel like they might be broken. And so he showed me his hands, and they were just kind of scarred up, kind of like it'd been rubbed across the concrete. And I was like, wow, dude. And I was like, I don't think it's broken. And I don't know. And so we decided, okay, you should probably soak it or something like that. And so he goes and soaks it in water, hot water, and turns out it was broken. And soaking it in hot water was really bad for it.
I got roasted by a med student for doing that. He's like, yeah, you shouldn't have soaked it. You pretty much did the absolute worst thing you could do for it.
If it wasn't a break, that would have been a good thing, you know what I mean? Muscle pull or something like that. But it's healed now. We're all excited. So, alright, I'll see you later.
See you when you get back, man. So, yeah. Basically, my board hit a random rock, the wheel got jammed, I flew off and caught myself like this on my back. It was a pretty rough fall, but fortunately I did kind of brace myself with my hands, and my head didn't really hit the pavement as hard as it would have. It just kind of tapped it. Thankfully, nothing apparently bad had happened. Generally, I'm pretty good at breaking my fall. My hand was kind of sore, and I ended up soaking it in hot water thinking I just pulled a muscle or something. Then I took some Tylenol and called it a night and went to bed. The next morning was not pleasant, to say the least. I woke up to my left hand absolutely throbbing, and it was kind of swollen too. So right off the bat, I knew something was wrong, and this was further backed up by the fact that I couldn't move it without some pretty substantial pain. At this point, I was pretty sure I had done something to it. I just didn't know exactly what, or if I should go to the hospital or not. So I went to the university clinic, and a few hours later, and a couple referrals, and a visit to Coffee Memorial Hospital. Yeah, that's a thing over here. Favorite hospital name ever. I found myself looking at a complete fracture of my scaphoid in my left hand. Here's a picture of that, by the way. I kind of enhanced it, sharpened it, and like drew a little circle to kind of like show you where it was. You couldn't quite tell, so. Now, the scaphoid is a bit of a tricky bone to break in the fact that it is a more structural bone, so you can't really tell most of the time if it's broken or not. It's not really that painful, but in my case, the fact that it is swollen up and I couldn't move my hand, a little bit of a telltale sign. But more significantly, it is one of the most difficult bones to heal in the entire body. I was actually very fortunate though in that my scaphoid had not moved out of place at all, despite all of the torment I put it through the previous night. So fortunately, I would not require fairly substantial surgery on my hand. Yeah, because that's a thing apparently. The doctor and staff were extremely helpful though, and at the end of the day, I was put in one of these for 8 weeks. Fun fact, I went through about 3 of these. Long story. It was actually kind of interesting though, walking around campus and just kind of getting to know people in the middle of all this. It actually turned out to be a pretty good conversation starter too. Hey, how'd you break your hand? Well, I pulled a stupid with a skateboard my first night here. Great, really, yeah. In all seriousness though, everyone was extremely nice about it. People would often go out of their way in whatever way they could to help me, whether it was grabbing something, getting the door when I had my hands full. Yeah, not this one though. I was extremely grateful for this. So after those 8 weeks were up, I finally got out of this blasted thing and into this brace, which I'm also now conveniently out of. 4 months later, my hand still isn't quite the same. I'm really just now getting my grip strength back in it. However, I do have the all clear for pretty much most activities now from my doctor. So yeah, that is the story of how I broke my hand on the first day of college. Also, really quick, huge shout out to UNA Health and Services. They were extremely helpful throughout this entire process, from getting this diagnosed to scheduling all of those clinic and hospital visits. In fact, they did manage to get me all of those appointments on the same day, which saved me a lot of pain. But yeah, major thanks to them for all of their help, from diagnosis to helping me fix my mistake. Alright guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Did you enjoy this video? Did you find it helpful? If so, leave a like down below and let me know, and also consider sharing this with someone who may find it useful. And if you want to hear more from me, definitely consider hitting that red subscribe button below and bell notification icon so you can always be in the know when I upload new videos. Have you ever broken a bone? Was it your scaphoid? Leave a comment down below and let's have a chat about it. And as always, see you in the next one. About 4 months later, Rip Stanley, seriously though, he was a cool dude. Rip Stanley.